Because today is the day that we truly embark on a comprehensive agenda of economic, social, and racial justice in the United States of America. That's what this agenda is all about. Because climate change and our environmental challenges are one of the biggest existential threats to our way of life, not just as a nation, but as a world.
Long before the Europeans invaded the Americas, indigenous folk lived all throughout the two continents. In the area that we now call South America lived the Incans, an empire of people who believe that they sprung from Lake Titicaca. Today the lake is split between Peru and Bolivia. We know this because although when the Europeans arrived and they tried to destroy Incan culture, Incan art, and the Incan religion, a descendant of the Incan royal family, Garcilaso de la Vega, took great care in chronicling what remained of the Incan Empire, as well as what he heard from family members and throughout the village that he lived. It is his account that we learn a lot about the Incan Empire in a book called The Royal Commentaries of the Incas. In this book, we also learn a lot about their relationship with nature and non-human creatures. For example, we learn about not only how they believe that they sprung from Lake Titicaca, but also their relationship with the sun and how strong of a bond they have. On page 76, we learn about another group of people that make up the Incan Empire, the Koyas, a group of people who believe that a river is so sacred that the fish in it are their brothers. So once again, we see this balance between nature and non-human creatures in the Incan Empire and how the relationship was really balanced. Garcilaso wasn't the only one who chronicled this relationship. Another chronicler, Felipe Guaman Poma de Ayala, chronicled several Incan festivals. On the left is the June festival, and on the right is the December festivals. Both of these festivals were festivals to the sun god. And during these festivals, they sacrifice humans, they sacrifice animals, they sacrifice gold, and they sacrifice silver. But what I want to highlight here is that I think not only did the Incans know that the sun gave them life, but through these sacrifices, the Incans were treating the sun in a human way, but also better than how they treat humans. Northwest of the Incans, in Central America, more specifically in Guatemala, one of the areas where the Mayan people lived, we again see this balanced relationship between humans and non-humans through the twin characters in the Mayan Popol Vuh.
Roads, they were not confused like their fathers had been. They sent a spy ahead. Bite them all and learn their names. And yours will be to suck the blood of people on the road forevermore. That was Mosquito's reward.
So we see that just like the Incans, the Mayans also had a strong bond with nature and non-human creatures. But then this bond is erupted once the Europeans arrive. And the Europeans don't just bring with them Catholicism. They don't just bring with them diseases. They bring with them the worst thing of all: exploitation.
So full of love and without greed. And you would think like, oh, that's great, that's gonna lead to good relations. He's like, no, idiots, he thought. They're so full of love without greed, it makes it super easy to enslave them, beat them, murder them, chop their hands off. Christopher Columbus, the original ISIS.
And it's important to note that not only were the Europeans this cruel to indigenous folk, but they were this cruel to other humans. So you can imagine how they treated animals like the American bison, which saw its numbers decimated as the Europeans took from them their hide and hunted them out across the nation so that the indigenous folks to America couldn't eat them anymore and would die out. We see them blowing up mountains and laying down tracks of railroads so they could build a railroad across the nation. And so once they started this exploitation of humans, of animals, and nature, there was really no turning back, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and which is why we're in the situation we are in now.
The Earth is now in its worst shape in human history. That is according to a new United Nations report. It finds up to 1 million species of plants and animals face extinction, many within decades.
Europe is in the middle of its second life-threatening heat wave of the summer. Records fell like dominoes today. It hit 100 degrees in London, 109 in Paris. That is the highest temperature ever recorded there.
Antarctica has just had its hottest day ever recorded.
Death Valley's Furnace Creek hit 130 degrees Sunday, according to the National Weather Service. If verified, it would be the hottest recorded temperature on the planet.
Now at 11, Tropical Storm Ada has formed in the Caribbean, tying the record for the most named storms in a single Atlantic hurricane season.
Never have we had two hurricanes, at least in recorded history, in the Gulf of Mexico at the same time. But that's the forecast that we have going for us right now.
The human race is facing a crisis like never before. A crisis that will require immense governmental actions and projects across the globe. And we, as Americans, must also stop honoring these men like Christopher Columbus and other European mass murderers who brought racism and exploitation to the Americas. We must tear down these statues to begin America's return to having a more balanced relationship with humans and non-humans if we wish to survive.
There's no justice and there is no combating climate change without addressing what has happened to indigenous communities. That means that there is no fixing our economy without addressing the racial wealth gap. That means that we are not going to transition to renewable energies without also transitioning frontline communities and coal communities into economic opportunity as well. That is what this is about. It is comprehensive, it is thoughtful, it is compassionate, and it is extremely economically strategic as well.